She's what you're doing. Susan. How's everyone?
Good.
In that post-launch feel? You're like, hey, Ron. I saw you for minutes. Happy to be standing here. Starting? Yeah, I think so. About 15 people online. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Here and there. We're glad that you could be with us today. I see a lot of new faces in the room. That's pretty exciting. And we don't have a lot of time for introductions today, but I will introduce our staff along this presentation so you can get to know us a little better. And then we'll just look forward to interacting with you through the campaign and get to know you better that way. I do see some old friends in the room too, so thank you for coming back. We're excited that you could be here. Today, we are doing our formal sort of kickoff and public info session for this year's Giving Tuesday campaign. How many of you in the room are familiar with Giving Tuesday already? How many are brand new? Oh, just a few, okay, cool. Oh, Walter says we're not new, Greg. It's fine. So those of you that are online, thanks for joining us as well. Let us know in chat if you have any trouble hearing or seeing us. We do have a Meeting Owl system now. It's a digital way of viewing different people in the room when they're talking, so hopefully that goes well. And we're gonna move with that today. We're also recording this session. So if you think there's something that's really important that you really need to, view it again, we'll make that available later. And those of you online, if you have to sign off or anything else, you can come back and view it later as well. For the Community Foundation, I do want to introduce who's in the room. Myself, Heather Heraldez, got Lauren here and Kathy there. We are your programs team, so we are sort of the nonprofit support arm of the Community Foundation. So you're going to see in a minute that there's a whole bunch of employees at the foundation that are going to support this campaign and support you, but we are your primary point of contact for questions about registration, technical issues, and anything else that you just want to chat with us about related to the campaign. So I'm glad that we can all be here today. Those of you online will be able to share also, I think, this PowerPoint and some of the pictures and other information about our staff. This is our 9th year of this campaign. The campaign internationally has been around longer than that, about 10 years actually. We came in early in the process and it's our 9th and we're really excited. The local campaign is called The Shore Gives More. You might have heard that. It's sort of our branded way of making it Eastern Shore. We have a logo that also sort of brings it to the Eastern Shore. You'll learn a lot about donor engagement strategies through this campaign. And we have learned over the years that branding and marketing are really important to getting this campaign on the ground. So we do a lot of support towards that and share a lot of information for it. So let's jump into the material. push this off the screen a little bit.
Thinking of it.
Oh, there, I got it at the bottom,
Okay.
inadvertently. So, I'm gonna have to skip intros because I don't wanna slow us down today, but I would encourage you after the session, we will have some extra time today if you want to network or come meet any of us personally. If you haven't had a chance, I would encourage that. I did wanna show you, like I said, our staff team. Our staff has grown quite a bit in the last 5 years particularly, and so there are 11 of us now working towards supporting our donors, our nonprofits, and all of our other charitable endeavors in the community, and we're excited to be a part of this campaign. This snapshot is from our website on the About Us section. If you really want to get to know one of us a little better or reach out to us directly, you can see, for example, who the finance team is, what the marketing officer, who that is, and everything else. So this slide here had the outline sort of what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna do that in just a few slides. And then, like I said, have some time for questions and answers and dialogue. We will give you some important dates today. You've got a handout in front of you. Make sure you get one of these to go with you. We'll look at some of these things today. I think they'll be really helpful to you. So let's jump in. What is Giving Tuesday? Anyone want to tell me what Giving Tuesday is? Before I just, blab it out. Anyone have their own interpretation of what Giving Tuesday is? Want to share? Everybody's shy.
It's a day that gives nonprofits an opportunity to fundraise on an online format, and it's a great opportunity. I mean, last year was our first year, and it went really well.
Good, thank you for sharing that. That's exactly what it is. It's an online giving campaign that's specifically focused on nonprofits. And it comes in a time of year that we in the sector affectionately and not very affectionately call the giving season. Because it's, a season that we work really hard to engage our donors in, and that's this late year timeframe. Oh, let me check the chat, comment. Thanks, Lauren. I don't think I could do that, actually.
Can they see that? They should be able to see.
Oops.
Can you hear me, Heather?
Yes, can you see the share screen?
I can see the screen. I was just wondering if I could get it just to print it out so I could take notes on it, but that's okay. I'll just look at the screen. It's not a problem.
Sorry, unfortunately, live, it's not possible the way we're here in this room, but we will send them afterwards.
No problem.
And we'll also make sure you get this little set of handouts for those that are online. So yeah, the campaign falls in the giving season time of year. They kind of built it in, as you can see, after Black Friday and Cyber Monday, because as our society is very consumerist, we're spending a lot of money that time of year and in other ways, and pocketbooks are loose, and so I guess the leaders of this campaign thought, why not, let's bring the focus back to charities and really get people prepared for that end of year giving season by giving them an online easy opportunity to give. And so they call it Giving Tuesday. We had that hashtag Giving Tuesday, which we used quite a bit in the campaign, along with the Shore Gives More tag, but it's a global day of giving back. You'll see some of the stats coming up shortly for our own 9 years, and they're really impressive. So you can imagine globally what kind of impact a campaign like this has made. And there's a little bit more there about the history of it, created in 2012. Global movement. We as staff are a part of several different leadership groups and groups of different agencies doing this work and thinking about, how to continuously engage donors and our sector in supporting nonprofits this way. So one of the other really cool benefits of the campaign is it's not just an online giving day, it's a place, an opportunity for us to market our nonprofits in a different way, to be able to talk about our impact, to talk about how the community can engage with us through volunteerism, through service, through giving, through professional service like board service, etc. And so you'll see when Lauren is demonstrating the website that there are marketing opportunities throughout the campaign for you to really sell or pitch, you know, in unique ways what your nonprofit is doing and how donors can support you. You'll see later that when a donor is checking out on the actual giving day, there are some questions that come up in their cart, and that's something that we've been able to take advantage of. And we actually ask the donors now if they would like to volunteer with your organization, and so you have the opportunity to follow up on those inquiries that might be interested in serving with your organization. So that's kind of exciting, you know, it's not just about receiving dollars, it's about marketing and awareness and engaging with lots of different donors and different demographics. And this year, the date is Tuesday, November 28th. That's a great save the date, the number one most important date, probably in the campaign. We will be doing a build up through the next 2 months. You'll see as we move along that registration opens after this session today. And then we will work with you through mid-November to set up the profiles that you'll be using to engage donors. I'm not sure why the sound is an issue. I apologize if there are sound issues online. I haven't received that feedback before. Do you know if Dave's here? He's not, okay.
Is there a man candy?
They're supposed to be.
You need to
Yeah.
get just closer to it? No, I'm wondering if it's.
I'm not sure, and I don't know how to fix it. Hopefully the recording that we can send after will have better quality. I'm not sure what that's gonna be like either. You'll have to bear with us on this hybrid format. A lot of you that facilitate understand the challenges of hybrid formats and probably have been through the same scenario, so we apologize. So we are the host of the campaign. We started in 2015. We as the community foundation served by Wacomico, Worcester, and Somerset counties, so we do require that nonprofits be located and serving those counties specifically. One of the benefits of the campaign is that, you know, you as likely a small to medium-sized nonprofit with either no paid staff or just a few paid staff don't have all of the capacity, marketing skill sets and donor engagement skill sets that you need to put together a broad-based campaign like this. So we provide that. That's what we're able to use some of our own staff expertise to do. So we'll be throughout the next 2 months, like I said, supporting you in that way to create an entire marketing campaign for this. And there's that really awesome number since inception. Our local nonprofits have raised over $1 million, $1.5 million. Very small rural community, and we're really proud of that. And we are, like I said, participating on the national level with peers, and we see all kinds of different numbers thrown out, and we don't compare ourselves to other communities. We know our community, and we're always really excited to have the 100 to 125 or so active nonprofits in our area participating. And every year we've done an amazing job together. So we're grateful that you're interested in it this year and that you want to be a part of it. And we'll see what numbers we can get to this year. Good. And I'm gonna turn it over. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Lauren now. Thanks. Yeah.
All right. I'm still curious about why the microphone's not working, but Cheryl says her sound is good, so
Okay.
interesting. I don't know. Apologies to those who are having sound issues. So this is a look back at our, like Heather said, this is our 9th year doing this campaign. So this is just a way to show how much this campaign has grown over those 9 years. So look back to, you can see at the bottom here, it's a little hidden, but the 2015, the total campaign raised just over $4,000. When we first started, this was actually before my time. I joined in 2017, but the campaign was just for Worcester County organizations in the very beginning because they were the ones who expressed some interest and came together. And but then, you know, we opened it up to all 3 counties and brought it into the platform that we're in now in 2017. And that allowed us to really expand and bring in a lot more nonprofits and do a lot more, you know, robust campaigning. So our best year was 2021, and that was kind of unprecedented. I think it had some COVID influence in the donor engagement. It was our best year. last year was almost as good as the year before, but, so it was almost 300,000 this year. And we had 124 nonprofits participate last year. These are just some stats from last year's campaign, so that's how much we raised. There were 1,507 unique donors that engaged in the campaign. There were over 2,400 donations, so a lot of donors will donate to multiple organizations. The platform makes it really easy because it's kind of built like a shopping cart, like an online shopping cart. You can literally just pick, you know, I want to give to this one, and it goes in a shopping cart, and it's like you want to keep shopping, basically, only, you know, in a charitable sense. But so 124 there. 656 of the donations were by new donors, and 111 nonprofits received a donation from one or more first-time donors. So that's one of the really great things about this campaign. You know, it's essentially a 24-hour campaign. We do have scheduled giving. There's some you can pre-schedule. So the week before, the donation platform is actually open, but it's not live to the public. They can't see what's happening, but it's a short time frame. So, you know, it's not necessarily going to be your biggest push of the year, especially if you have another, you know, annual appeal that you do, but it's really great for engagement. It's so many donors are coming to this platform because you've got over 100 organizations that are marketing their organization, but it brings it all to the same website. And you're going to see that in a little bit if you haven't seen what it looks like. And then we do a lot of marketing. We don't market for ourselves because we do participate in the campaign. We have a fund here at the Community Foundation that raises money through this campaign, but we don't market for ourselves. We market just broadly for the campaign on the radio, social media, different TV commercials. So it just draws a lot of traffic, and it's a good way to get exposure. You can, you know, let a lot of new people know about your organization. And then we also have incentives. So every year there's $10,000 worth of prizes that you can win just for participating. Half of those are golden ticket prizes. So it's just, if you participate, you're entered basically into the drawing. It's random. And then the other 5 are competitive. It's just fun competition. We do hourly prizes. There might be a slide on this, but so I might be getting ahead of myself, but we do hourly prizes. So there will be different specific hours in the day that we let you know ahead of time. And people, whoever gets the highest number of unique donations in that hour wins the prize. So it's been really fun in the past. A lot of organizations get creative about ways to engage their donors. They might hold an event during one of those hours, like if there's a couple up that are later in the day. So they might host an event and have, you know, tablets at their event, and people can all donate in that hour. We had one of the organizations, I think it was the Worcester County Education Foundation, and they got all of their teachers, I think, when they first got to work to sign on and do it in the morning hour. So people get creative. It's just kind of a fun engagement. And then if you win that prize, you get an extra $1,000. So what we offer, we have, first of all, the biggest part of it is the donation platform. So everything is processed through the online portal. So you don't have to do any of that, any of the financial transaction stuff, any of that processing. It's all done here. The funds all come here, and then our finance team cuts the checks and mails them out. I can show you, we'll show you what it looks like on the inside where it collects the donor information. So you have access to all of the donor information. While you're not responsible for processing any of it, you can get in, you can see, you can export that information. So you can send thank you cards, you can put it into your own donor database, you know, you can keep that. So, and it stays, as long as we have the platform, it stays there. So, so it's just a really great source of information for you. We have the incentives, the awareness and the exposure I talked about. We do a marketing seminar. So this is our intro. So it's kind of like just for people who aren't familiar or haven't participated before, people who need a refresher on what's going on or want to know important dates and things like that. So we'll talk about, here we just talk about the campaign, but then our next session is our marketing session, and it's required for new participants. It's just encouraged for returning participants. But we'll go through we'll get into like the nitty gritty of the profile build out, because you're gonna each have your own profile. It's kind of like building out kind of like a Facebook page, only simpler. You'll see what it looks like, but there's lots of different features. So in the marketing campaign, we'll go through all the different features, and then we'll have Victoria, our marketing officer, here to talk about some tips and tricks for like really doing a good marketing campaign during this. That is one thing you'll find that you get out of this what you put into it. So you definitely want to engage. You want to market. You don't want to just build your profile and then let it go. But we provide everything you need for that. Victoria creates hundreds of graphics that you can use. She does press release templates if you want to use those. She creates social media post templates. She sizes all the images so that you can use them as a cover photo on Facebook or as a post image or a story or a reel. She creates all of those things, and they're all available to you in the portal. She's got scripts, she's got all kinds of stuff. It's great. So it makes the marketing really easy. That's the marketing toolkit there. Donors will receive tax acknowledgements automatically, so you don't have to worry about sending those. There are ways that you can, if they fall and they want it, you can resend it. They can get it themselves on the website. There's a place for them to do that. We can resend it, but they do automatically get a tax acknowledgement. We have fundraiser pages. That's another feature. So are you guys familiar with like peer-to-peer fundraising? Anybody? Okay. So
GoFundMe type page.
kind of like, yeah. So you can engage other people to fundraise for you as well. So they can create their own, it's a simplified version of a profile, and it's called a fundraiser page. So if you have your board members, would be great to do that. Family members can do that, friends, maybe donors, loyal donors that you've had for a while. Volunteers are great for that. But they can create their own page, and then they can market that out, and they can also fundraise. So it grows your reach. You can kind of spread out and use a network of people to fundraise. But it all links directly to your page. So everything that goes through their fundraiser page directly goes right through there into yours. But it'll market. It'll have a little note on it that says it came through that fundraiser page, so you know how much they brought in for you. There's some volunteer engagement opportunities. Heather mentioned in the donor cart, there's a checkbox for if they're interested in volunteering with you. So if you're actively looking for volunteers, it's a good way to get that. It records that information for you. There's a Zendesk help support. So there's a couple different places on the website where there's a support button. We're always available for support, but if you want more immediate, you're just on the website, you want to click a button, maybe chat with somebody, something like that. They've got those available. The live chat comes up a little closer to the campaign, but you can submit a support ticket if you want, or you can just call or email us. And then lastly, we've got the #unselfie social media campaign. So we do, I think I've got pictures in the next slide. Yeah. So these up in the corner over here, down in the bottom corner, a few different places, we give out templates. They'll be part of a packet that you get at the marketing boot camp, but it's a sign that says I give for it, you fill it out. So you can bring these to events, you can spread them around at your office, you can bring, and people just write in, whatever they want to write. I gave to the Delmarva Discovery Museum because it's hands-on and interactive. And I've seen I give for cats, for the Humane Society, things like that. And then they take a picture and post it on social media. It's a really simple thing, but it's fun and it gets a lot of engagement. So we give you the templates for that. And some of these pictures are events. So that's another fun thing. And we can talk about that more at the boot camp too, about kind of strategizing around that. But on actual Giving Tuesday, November 28th, a lot of organizations, or several organizations, will choose to have an event of some kind. So, and I've seen all kinds. I've even seen during COVID, some people did virtual events. So you can get really creative with that too. But some of these pictures are from those events. And some of them are Prize Patrol. The ones with the balloons here, we've got Prize Patrol. So we come out and we surprise you with your golden ticket. So how many people here are already registered in past years? Okay. So we have some that haven't. So these instructions here are for people that haven't registered before. So if you want to get involved, first of all, you want to make sure, you want to check out the eligibility and compliance requirements. So we just have a couple, let me see if this will link me right to it. Yeah. So on our website, on the Shore Gives More website, we have FAQs. We've got the FAQs for nonprofits here. We've got a few others, and we've also got registration resources. So this is one place you can go if, when you leave here, you want something to review, to show you what to do. It's very simple, but you don't have to memorize what I'm showing you now. We have resources up on the website. But there are a few things we do check to make sure that your organization is up to date with the IRS and that you're up to date with the Department of Assessments and Taxation, so your Maryland business. And then the charity, what is it called?
Secretary of State,
Secretary
Maryland
of State.
Solicitations Act.
Yeah.
We'll check that, make sure
You're compliant with that. That third one is the one that a lot of organizations don't seem to know about. So a lot of times when we're checking compliance, we'll see that somebody hasn't filed or isn't up to date with that filing. And so we want you to participate. So you can, as long as you do that filing, you can show us that you did it, then we can approve you to participate. So if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to us. But these buttons here, the view your IRS compliance, Maryland Charity Identification Number, and view your organization standing with the state of Maryland. If you click on each of these, it'll take you to the website where you can verify that if you're not sure and you're not sure who to ask at your organization. Beyond that, it's just, you have to be a 501c3 serving Maryland, Worcester, Wycomico, and Somerset counties in Maryland. So a C3 charity. Okay, let's get back to the PowerPoint. Let's see. Oh, it's just gonna take me back to the website. So let's take a look at the website and then I'll show you where you can log in and register. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay, so the website is shoregivesmore.org. It's up on the board too. This is the front-facing piece of it. We're in countdown mode right now. So it changes as it goes into different modes. The next mode will be scheduling for that week before when donors can schedule their donations. So we've got 60 days left until the campaign. And there's just a little basic information here. This is where donors can request their receipt again if they need another copy. It's right on the front page. And then let's look at registration resources really quickly. There are some onboarding instructions and a video. So if you want to check any, we won't look at those right now, you don't need to, but if you want that to check those out on your own time, they're there for you. So what you'll do is you'll go to login and nonprofit. Like this stuff. Okay. So if you're new, you're gonna apply as a new organization. If you're a returning organization, you'll log in and you'll see you do need to re-register. So every year you have to re-register. So when you log in, there'll be a button that says register this organization on your screen. So if you're returning, that's what you're gonna wanna look for. And most of your information will still be there from last year, but you wanna just go through it, update anything that needs to be updated. And then I think there's a checkbox or two that it requires you to fill out or check so that you can submit it for approval. So if you're applying as a new organization, is anyone here returning but they're a new user? Like you have, your organization has a profile, but you've not yourself been in? Okay, so there's options for that too. I think this is, okay. Hold on. It was on the last page. Okay, so if you're a new, this support button down here in the bottom right corner, you can click on that and you can request to be added to an existing profile. So that's what you'll want to do if you're just a new user. Or if the person who has access to the account is still at your organization, they can go in and add you. That can happen too. But if that person's gone and you need somebody to add you on, then you'll use that support button. If you are applying as new, it's going to say, check your email address to make sure if you don't already have one. I haven't done it. This is so hard to see. Okay, that one does. I have like 100 email addresses, so. Okay. So this is gonna be your form that you're gonna fill out. It's pretty basic. This stuff here, the mission statement, the more about us, the testimonials, these big narrative pieces, if you don't want to fill them all out, you can just put a space or a dot. It's not gonna publish it right away. This is called the inquiry phase. So you're gonna fill out this basic information and just submit that, and it's gonna come to us. And then we're gonna check all that compliance stuff. We'll check your links because it asks for website and social media links. So we'll check all those for you to make sure that they, pasted over okay, and that they work. And then we'll approve it. And if you need to update anything or if there's anything wrong, then we'll notify you of that. But it's just basic organization information. You submit that and then you just wait for the approval. And once it's approved, you start building out your profile. We're not gonna get into profile build out now. That's for the marketing boot camp. But I will show you what they can look like. We have one up right now. This thing is so annoying. So if you go to the nonprofits, we have two up right now. So this is the screen that donors are gonna come to. It's gonna be filled with the 100+ organization profiles. And on the Gives Day, there's gonna be a donate button or a give button down here as well. But so that they all show up like this. They're randomized, so you don't have to worry. It's not in alphabetical order. If you're not in A, you don't have to worry about not being first. They'll always come up random. So they click on that. There's some buttons here to start a fundraiser page. So if somebody wants to create that fundraiser page for you, they can just come to your profile and click on that. There's all your social media links. That's where they show up. So all those ones that you put in on the back end of it, they'll show up here. So people can link directly to your organization's website, your social media pages. You put your mission, you can put media, you can put videos if you want in here. So you can get creative, show things off. You can put some more about us. And then you have some tabs up here. These are optional tabs. So if you have so we specifically raise money for Help Your Neighbor, our Help Your Neighbor program. It's emergency needs for the local community. So if you have specific programs that you're raising money for, or if you just have specific programs you want to talk about and show off to your donors, you can put them in here when you're building out the profile. If you have any events you want to advertise, so that can be events that your organization has coming up, or it can be your Giving Tuesday event, or both. So if you're having a Giving Tuesday event, you can put that there. If you have volunteer needs or any other specific needs, you can put those in those tabs. So it's pretty comprehensive, but the nice thing about having the tabs is you can choose whether or not you want to do all those. Maybe you're not engaging volunteers. It's not going to look like a big blank spot on your screen. You can just pick which ones you want to do. But this overview here is the front facing, so that'll be the most important. And let's see. So our leaderboards, we don't have anything up here right now because we're in countdown mode, but the prize information is all up here. And on the day of, there will be a leaderboard. So it's going to show, it's going to rank people. It'll show, who's raising the most. It'll show who wins prizes. So if you want to check and see who's won an hourly prize, you can see that there. It's all live. The most fun piece though is this one. For us anyway, I guess for you guys, the most fun piece would be yours because your individual profile will have a ticker on it. It's live. So you'll see as the money's coming in, you'll watch your ticker go up. But this is the full campaign ticker. Once we get into actual Gives Day mode, it'll show the campaign ticker. I think I can show you what that looks like. I have the dev site up. Here. I can get it. So annoying. Okay, cool.
So many boxes, right?
Yeah. Okay, Gives Day. So it's $0 right now, so it's not as exciting, but
It does show you the scroller though, and
Yeah.
that's kind of exciting too.
yeah, so as organizations get a donation, your logo will show up here live, so that's fun to watch too. But yeah, we just kind of rewatch this ticker all day long. Like until midnight.
We get up and all night.
Let's see, I can show you what, I don't know if I can show you what a donor cart looks like. I think I can. And gives him. Yeah, so see the donate button popped up here. So these are, I think Heather mentioned, these are optional too. You can do donation amount buttons. So if you want to, you see this sometimes on websites. If you want to like give suggestions for amounts, there's always an other to fill in. But if you want to say, you know, $25 will buy this, $50 will buy that, it can be really engaging, you know, it makes the donation more practical. It says, you know, it lets the donor know what their donation is going to get or can get. It doesn't mean that you have to get whatever that is with that money. It's just saying this is what $50 can do for our organization. So it can just be engaging for donors. That's just an option. So down here are the questions. Are you a first-time donor? So that's how you'll know that. You'll know if you have new donors. This is just really good for donor development. They can choose to be anonymous if they want. That's the only way you won't know. And this is where it asks if they're interested in volunteering. And then it asks if their donations in memory or honor of someone, and they can write a note. That's the donor cart. And see up in the top right, that's that shopping cart. So, and it's even got, like, if I were to follow this through, it's even got suggestions for, you know, like how Amazon does and stuff, like suggestions for other products. It'll suggest other organizations. Another nice feature is the search feature. So donors can search by category if they have a particular category that they care about. So you can, the keywords are kind of embedded in your whatever narrative you have in there. It'll come up by that. They can search by county, by your organization's name if they're looking for a specific organization. That's nice too. Let's see, so I think, yeah, so once you're in the portal, there's an announcements box. So your dashboard looks different than that did, but there's an announcements box when you first go in, and that will have the link to the boot camp. So the marketing boot camp registration link. We have two options. There's one here that's going to be hybrid again, and then one in Worcester that's going to be in person. So definitely make sure you check that out and get registered for it. And then these important dates. These are in your handouts. So your handouts are just for you to, we're not going to go through them, they're just for you to take with you because it's basically stuff that we talked about already. But the first one's just an overview of what is Giving Tuesday. If you need to share that information with anybody, it gives you a nice summary. The next one is our last year's information, the getting started instructions. It's got it for new and returning organizations. And then the important dates. So we have, as far as the public knows, October 1st is when registration opens, but spoiler alert, we did a soft opening for you guys. So if you want to register as soon as you leave here while it's fresh on your mind, it's open for you. So if you go to the website, you can do it, right after this or right now, but as soon as you get back to your office, it is open. But it closes on October 31st. So just make sure you get registered before then. After you register, you have until November 17th to finish editing your profile, even if it's published. So even if you've submitted it and you want to go back in and make changes, you can do that up until November 17th. At that point, it locks. So you won't be able to make any changes to it after that. That's because early giving starts on the 20th, November 20th. And so we don't want changes being made after donors have been in and started making donations. Same thing for the fundraiser pages. that locks on November 17th as well. So if you're encouraging people to create fundraiser pages, just let them know about that deadline. Early giving begins on November 20th, and then everything goes live November 28th for that 24 hours. And then one other important date I will point out is our finance team will immediately get to work diligently sorting out everything and processing all of this. Our promise is to have the checks to you no later than January 31st. It will likely be earlier than that, but just in case, you know, anything happens, we've got, that is our absolute latest, is January 31st, that the checks will be out. Yeah, any questions? I think the only slide left is just the boot camp preview. So what we'll do with the marketing boot camp, we'll talk about building out your profile, we'll look a little more into fundraiser pages, talk marketing strategy, and walk through the marketing toolkit and preview all those cool graphics and things that Victoria made. And that's all I have. Heather, you got?
One thing I'd like to do before we close is walk through the FAQs. It's just to
Yes.
further go into some details about the campaign. And I'll bring that on the screen. Before we open for questions and dialogue, why don't we just run through the FAQ, because we already have it all put together, and I might answer some of your questions ahead of time. And I think, you know, we have covered a lot of these things today, but I'm sure there are gonna be some things that we did not. Yeah, like fees and et cetera. But a lot of this we have discussed in standard language, but if you forget any of the things that we talked about today, just come back to the FAQ and you'll have all the links there that you need, answers to the questions, et cetera. We even have a lot of education here about the compliance pieces that Lauren spoke to. And we at the staff level, especially the programs team, can offer additional support. And so we link you here, you know, to where you can verify some of your compliance statuses if you're not familiar with doing that before you submit. And we have them all three of the important ones sort of linked there. We also go over the exclusions and limitations we have for the campaign here. We are really targeting direct, front-facing 501c3s. So we have some limitations on private foundations, certain types of religious organizations, governmental units, foreign organizations, et cetera. And if you fall in one of those sort of gray spaces, again, just reach out to the programs team. We're happy to talk to you about what that might mean. Also wanted to share that fiscally sponsored organizations are able to take part in this campaign. So if your organization doesn't have your own tax exempt status, but you're partnering with another one that does, and that is handling your accounting or finance, processes, you can apply under their status. And so there's a process for that as well, where you would come in and register and identify who they are and who you are. And then we could work through that with you. I think Lauren mentioned the incentives. We usually have a $10,000 prize pool, which is really exciting on the day of. So we're giving away, I think we probably already talked about it, but $1,000 gifts, cash for you to do whatever you want to do with for your organization. We also, did we talk about match funds in much detail? Okay. Yeah, and we'll get into this in much more detail later, but we do have some FAQs here about matching funds. And I just want to mention it because I think it's something that it's good to think about early on. If you're not familiar with engaging corporate sponsors, businesses, or other sorts of entities in your fundraising, you can do that through this campaign. There's this thing called a match pool, and it's where you would basically have a verbal agreement or some sort of agreement, with a business or another entity to support your campaign by setting aside a pot of money that you could use to match your donor dollars, typically one-to-one. This database has a process of being able to track that one-to-one match. So you would declare in your profile that you have a match pool, you put the dollar amount in, and then you get a ticker just for that process, which is another thing that excites donors as well. And you'll learn as we go through the boot camp that matching funds are really motivating to donors. They love to see that their money can go even further. So a dollar can go even further. And so we'll provide a lot of support on that. We've got some great tutorials. We also have examples here of that and how the ticker works. Donors can use credit card, electronic check. They can also use, I thought thought I had adjusted that statement.
Did you put it in the donor? Thank you.
We need to put it in here too. You can also use Apple Pay and Google Pay now on this website. So we've expanded into that, demographic of donor that is using those types of things. It can be really nice if there's someone that doesn't have a credit card available or doesn't want to use a credit card online, doesn't have an ACH or electronic check, but they have those forms of payment, they can do that now also. I think we already talked a lot about registration. We actually have our early scheduling starting on November 20th. So the Monday of Thanksgiving, the week before, you can actually start collecting gifts. And so we actually have done very well in the last couple of years with early giving by doing a heavy, as Lauren said, a heavy marketing campaign the 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So that's when we as the foundation hit the ground with our media partners doing TV, radio, print, etc. And we encourage you to do the same alongside us with our shared marketing language that we're going to provide. And when donors feel inclined to give, but know that they're personally not available on the 28th, this gives them an option to come in between the 20th and the 28th and give to your organization. Also wanted to share that if you have advanced donor strategies and you know that you have donors that have donor advised funds here at the Community Foundation, they are able to use their donor advised funds to give to this campaign. There is a process for it, and it's here in the FAQ. So they have until noon on the actual giving day, the 28th, to make that request to the proper development team member here in our office. And we have that here as well. That's Shelby Thompson. And any of our other staff could help facilitate that. But again, that's kind of only for people or organizations that know that they have donors that cross into the Community Foundation's donor pool and specifically have donor advised funds. But some of you might be aware of that, within your donor base. And so this is another mechanism for them to give. We have seen that there are donors that are interested in using their donor advised funds instead of coming in and making a separate sort of cash gift to your organization. We no longer receive checks or cash directly in our office for this campaign. It's just become a capacity issue for us, also sort of a risk. Managing cash right now is at an all-time high with security and fraud and other issues. We actually encourage you not to do that either. We try to keep everything online, to keep this all moving through a standard online platform. And as you see, the $10,000 in prizes is attached to those online gifts. And so it's kind of important to keep that continuity. In the early days when the campaign was smaller, we did have other forms of assets that we accepted, but we are streamlining it now. We also are not able to accept stock transfers. That was something else that occasionally in the past, a highly engaged donor that had a lot of different types of assets might call and say, I have some stock sitting here that I'm planning to liquidate this year. Can I send them over for your Giving Tuesday campaign? We did step into that space a few times, but it's transferring stock is a long, tedious process between our brokers and your brokers. If you have a donor, they're brokers, and it's just complicated. The timing is really hard to get right, and we're really trying to focus on that 24 hours on the 28th. So we just aren't able to do that anymore. However, again, if you have, advanced engaged donors that have other forms of assets that they want to give, maybe you should be having that conversation with them. Maybe they could give directly to you through their stock transfers, their DAFs or whatever else they have on hand. Lauren already shared that we're going to be building out a marketing toolkit. It's going to be easily accessible in this platform. And we'll have a boot camp, to really get on the ground about those things. She also mentioned that all your information on last year's donors would be in the platform. Donors are also able to log into the platform and see all of their previous histories and gifts, which is an advantage. And then this is one thing we haven't talked about that I wanted to mention, and that's the fees. So some of you are aware that we don't charge fees for nonprofits to be able to participate in this campaign. Almost all of our services are no cost or low cost for our nonprofit partners. However, we are incurring third-party processing fees for all of the money that comes in. So we do have a 2.75 total sum that we will take from your complete fundraising. And that's the lowest percentage of fee in almost any campaign in America. Most campaigns now are well over 10% in the fee that they charge to their nonprofits. We keep that very low. We are able to use some of our corporate sponsors, our own funds here at the Community Foundation to supplement the campaign. So we're keeping it at this 2.75, which is where it's been for, I think this would be third year, maybe, third or fourth year. But you should be aware of that. When you do get your full sum of money at the end of the campaign, it'll come with a reconciliation document that'll give you a list of your donors, as well as a breakdown of how much you raised, how many prizes you won, what percent of money came out of what you raised, and what that total number is that you're getting. We don't take that 2.75 off of your prize monies. You get those clear. It's only off of the dollars raised that we're paying those processing fees for. So I just wanted to mention that. I think that's the biggest part of it, yeah. And we have, you know, like I said, a whole team working on this year, but we do on our FAQs try to give you very specific people within our staff team that can help you if you know exactly what you're looking for. So, you know, we've got our finance lead here for finance issues. We have our marketing officer reference in some places. We have our development staff reference in some places. But again, feel free to reach out to any of us. But we know how sometimes, you know, you really just really want to dial in, you know, to exactly who you're looking for. So we do give you that information. Now I want to open it up for questions. And we're happy to demonstrate further things. We have the room a little longer. Those of you that are online, if you would like to come into chat or unmute yourself to ask questions, we welcome that too. We do have you on video. Anyone have any questions? Thoughts?
The advertising materials, so forth, that your helpers create and whatnot for this specific date. Did I understand correctly that that's something we can continue to use after the Giving Tuesday big event in our own campaigns?
You don't know that. I'm gonna say yes. I've actually never been asked that. So
You're free to use them as long as you, I mean, if you download them, and you can access them really all year. But the only thing is a lot of them are branded for Giving Tuesday. So there are, Victoria does a whole like slew of graphics that have the option to, where you can put your logo on top of it. So there's like space in it to make it personalized, but they are generally branded for Giving Tuesday.
I'm gonna repeat that for those of you that are online. Pastor Greg asked if you could use the marketing resources after the campaign. And I don't think we really have any limitations on that, but Lauren was responding that some of the branding is very specific to the Giving Day. But I do think that, like, for example, we probably teach you how to use Canva, online graphics tool. We'll give you press templates and social media language that may be appropriate in other fundraising campaigns. And I don't think we have that marked as proprietary or anything. It's just part of our services. That's a good question. I've never been asked that before.
Right.
But there you go.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone online have any questions, comments?
Hey, Heather, it's Cheryl Tolbert from Salisbury Christian again. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. First of all, thank you guys. I know how much work this is, and we've done this for a couple of years now, probably more than a couple of years, and it's been awesome for us. So thank you for everything you do and making it so easy. My question is just really quick. You did say that registration is now open, the re-registration, right? Because we're already on there. Because I don't see a blue button to push on mine, so I'm wondering if I don't know if I've done something wrong. It just says registration required. It won't give me a button, so maybe I need to just email somebody.
It sounds like you're logged in,
Are
right?
you logged in, Cheryl?
I am logged in, and where I think the paperwork says that it should say in the top right corner, where is it? Register my organization, and there's a blue button. I don't have a blue button.
Okay, we will troubleshoot that. We'll troubleshoot it.
No. Well, we'll troubleshoot it.
We'll troubleshoot it this afternoon. Give us till
Okay.
tomorrow. Our vendor is out of this time zone, so if we need to reach out to them for support, it might be tomorrow morning before we can get that up and running, but we'll verify that for sure.
I
And it
totally
will be
understand.
open through the end of October.
Perfect, thank
I
you.
think I think I might know why it is, so I might be able to fix it after this. I'll reach out to you.
Okay,
Thanks, Cheryl. Oh, we have someone in the chat. Michelle says hers says the same thing. Okay, we will definitely look at that after the meeting and see if we can get that up and running today, if not in the morning. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes, did you say that you do Canva online training for that software?
Well, we do some support for it in the boot camp. So we will teach you how to take some of our images and branding and turn it into something like flyer or marketing piece that you can use.
Victoria does a Canva flyer that has some, it like links directly into Canva and it has places where you can pop some stuff in there.
Kind of a drag and drop. So it's a very basic introduction to it, but sometimes that's enough because it's a simple piece of software. When you have a template, it's all a lot easier. Anything else? Anybody have anything? Or if not, we're really excited that you're with us today. We're excited to kick off the campaign, see where it goes this year. We'd love to hear from you as you're working on, your own strategies and ideas for the campaign. If you think of something really interesting that you'd like to share with us, we'd love to hear from you. We are thinking about our day of strategies as well and sort of, how we might market the campaign in a new and exciting way this year, year 9. So we'll be doing those things right alongside you. So we welcome any conversations or, thoughts after today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone online. We'll get this information also wrapped up, sent out, and hopefully posted somewhere on the platform as well.